and hopefully the kiln plays ball in terms of firing, but it never comes out like that in ceramics. You're probably also getting loads of tarpaulin. My name's Luke, I'm 28, I'm based in Hertfordshire, and I make ceramic sculptural things out of clay. I honestly don't mind what people call me. I'm not too bothered. I normally just say I make things in clay, because that is what I love doing, is making things in clay. I guess you can call me an artist if you want to, but I probably wouldn't call myself. I don't mind. I don't mind what the job title is. In a way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I guess ceramic sculptural artist, maybe. I think I make things in clay. It sounds nice, though, because that is the crux of the whole thing. I started clay when I was 18 at Oaklands College, and there's a guy called Mick Mills there who I loved. He was a really good teacher and quite enthusiastic about clay, and any idea he had, he was up for trying to make it in ceramics. Even things now that I would think, God, that would be hard to make, but I think 6 months into learning clay, Mick was up for, let's give it a go, even if it didn't work. Yeah. So that was quite inspiring to be a part of and to see. That was sort of woodwork, metalwork, ceramics and plastics. So you kind of get a foundation in all the different materials. And then I love clay the most, so I kind of spend most of my time in ceramic workshops. But yeah, I did a summer at Nick's, and then I came back the following summer. I camped outside his workshop for like 2 months, and Nick, I helped him make a few of his pieces, but then he kindly let me use his workshop to make things, which was a great opportunity. Yeah. And actually just making stuff out of an educational like environment was really helpful and useful. And I think it was the most important thing in a way, because I could see how do you make a living out of this in the real world, and how do you survive? And Nick sort of showed me it was possible. Spraying a car, you want even layer of paint. But with my work, I like the differences. So I'm kind of reacting a little bit to how when the spray gun's hitting the piece, how it sort of flows and hits the work, and making thicker layers of glaze in some areas and thinner layers in other. Trying to strike a balance, keeping the texture, but also getting more depth of colour. This has been fired a couple of times already, and I'm not quite happy with how the glaze is at the minute. And I guess I played it safe because I didn't want to glaze too thick and lose the texture that I've made when I was building the clay, or building the piece. But actually I think I went too thin, and I think it would be nice to have quite a thick glaze on this piece and seeing it run down the work. Out of Brighton Uni, I started then showing with a gallery called Sarah Myerscough Gallery, who I still show with now. And Sarah's been like great. She's been really supportive of me and of what I'm doing. And so she shows my work at her gallery. So they do different art fairs, and they have a new space opening at the end of the year in London. And then she also shows in America, in sort of Miami and San Francisco, and sometimes New York, which is good. I normally make what I want to make, and then it's up to the gallery if they want to show it or not. Yeah, and I like that way of working. I don't, in a way, like, it's kind of why I've started it. I don't want to be told what to make. If I got told what to make, I'd probably work for someone and probably earn more money. But but I've chosen to make what I want to make and earn less money. But I think that's better, because I enjoy every day. And yeah. This area here is sort of oversprayed, but I'm liking just to build up a glaze here. Maybe there's less spray in this area, but I'm liking those sort of different, once it's fired, you'll end up with sort of strong whites and then maybe some more browns here. So there's slightly unevenness to it. This is sort of a browny pink again, but it's grey. So once it's fired, there'll be sort of a reaction with the heat in the kiln, and it won't come out this grey colour. Well, I have to sieve it because the sediment in the glaze sort of sinks and you get these lumps, and it won't go through the spray gun then. I've watered it down a little bit more than I normally would, because it's already got a layer of the white, so I just want, I'm saying this now, but I just want a thin layer of this. But I might decide to build up a little bit more in certain areas. We'll see what happens. No, don't have a plan B. That's the worst thing you can do. Just plan A all the way and commit to it. No, I've never questioned it, luckily. And I think that's why it's worked, because it's like it has to work otherwise. Yeah, what do I? Yeah. It either starts two ways. I draw a little bit, but my drawings never look like the finished outcome. They're just sort of, an idea's come into my head, so I just draw it just so I remember that idea. And sometimes I construct by just starting, and it sort of changes from there. So those are the kind of two starting points. And I'll basically build a cardboard shell. So I build the piece out of cardboard, and I press clay into the interior of the cardboard piece. And I'll basically layer and layer clay up in there, but I'll do one layer, let it dry a little bit, so I might wait a couple of days to just stiffen up, because otherwise it will collapse, and then I add another layer and keep building that surface. That's a good point actually. The surface of this piece, I've actually used IKEA packaging, so the thick, chunky cardboard pieces. That's what I've pressed the clay into to get that, to get these ridges. And then, you know, when cardboard gets floppy and wet, I pushed them out to get all the blowouts here. But this texture here, you can see this sort of honeycomb pattern that you get in the packaging. Sometimes that can be really quick. So when I say quick, it could take me a couple of weeks. But I'm not working solely on that piece. I'll have lots of works on the go, so I'll kind of move around the studio. But yeah, it might take, to build the actual form, it might take me like 2 weeks, or it could take me, sometimes it's taking me 2 months to make the form, 3 months, because I'm not happy with it. Once I'm happy, I'll let it dry. And then once it's dry, you've got to put it in the kiln. If there's any moisture in the clay body, it will crack or explode because the pressure of boiling hot water. Then I'll put it in the kiln for 3 or 4 days to bisque fire. And once it's bisque fired, I glaze it like we did today. Or I put oxides on there to get different colours, different surfaces, different depths. And to bring out the texture, fire it again for 3 or 4 days. And then I'll look at the piece, and if I'm happy with the surface, it's done. If I'm not, we'll go again and glaze it again and fire it again. And we keep going, yeah. The best advice is finding the career or job you want to do, and finding someone you can get some work experience with, like I did with Nick. Like outside work, and seeing how they make a living and how they make it work.
Putting yourself in front of that.
Getting work experience. And I know it's hard because sometimes you don't want to work for free, but if you can just ask them if you can do a couple of hours or something, it helps you get a much better understanding of the world and like how it works. So this is the final piece. It's been fully fired to stoneware, so 1,260 degrees. It's in 2 sections, so I probably fired each section 4 times at least to get the right thickness of glaze and the right colour. I'm really happy with the surface finish because I think it's going to contrast well with the client's garden in terms of all the green foliage. And the height's quite nice as well because it's going to go at an end of a walkway sort of framed by pergolas, so you'll be able to see over the piece into the garden, so it doesn't obstruct that view as well. There's some really subtle pinks, so I've done the glaze really thin. Well, there's 2 glazes. There's a white glaze and there's sort of a really, really thin pink glaze. You can only see the pink glaze in certain lighting, so hopefully once it's outside, you'll be able to see the pinks pop a little bit more in the sunlight. But you kind of have to search for them, but I quite like that. I quite like that kind of unexpected. When you come up to the piece, you see a different sort of side to it. And then it's going to sit on like a stone plinth. Hopefully I'll get it in there by the end of summer, is the plan, while the weather's nice. And yeah, don't want to do it in winter, too cold.